See.
All right, now we've covered the basics of inequalities. We've done solving inequalities by adding and subtracting, solving inequalities by multiplying and dividing. We've graphed inequalities. It's time to actually kick it up to the last notch and get into solving inequalities that are only done through multiple steps. So right now I've got -3 quantity, 3 minus x, and that negative x is going to be a problem I'm predicting, is less than 4 squared. Now notice this is different than the square root of 4. Yes, Andrew, what's up?
Can I help?
Well, we're just starting the problem off, so if you want to come say hi to everybody before you get your PJs on, you can come say hi.
Hi.
All right, you'll get your PJs on, okay?
Why can I join?
Well, because we're working. But go get your PJs on. It's bedtime.
Can I help?
We'll see. So, distribute. -9. Oh, hey, that kind of works out because now I have a positive 3x less than or equal to, and I'm going to go ahead and, I'll leave this as 4 squared for now. So when I write down what I'm doing on each of these steps, I write down that I distributed. Because that's what I'm doing at that step. Let's see here. Now I'm going to bring this, let's clean this up a little bit. So I'll write -9 plus 3x is less than 16. What I do there, well, I'm just making a note that 4 squared is 16. Let's see, add 9 to both sides. So now I have 3x is less than, that looks like it's going to be 25. So I add 9 to both sides. Then I divide each side by 3. And I'm left with x is less than 25 thirds. 25 thirds is pretty darn close to, it's slightly more than 8, so it's 8 1/3. So I'll make a note to myself, or 8 1/3, because 24 thirds would be 8. Okay, so I get this just in the right ballpark. And again, I'll make a note to myself that I divided by 3 to both sides. Now what's important with that
Dad?
is that because I didn't do a positive or negative when I divided it, I don't have to change the sign around. All right? Xander, what's up? What's up? Quick. You needed me.
What?
What did you need?
Can I join now?
Well, you can help a little bit. Do you want to take care of helping me count?
Sure.
Okay, we're going to draw a number line here, so we got to graph this. So why don't you come over here where we can see you. Say hi to everybody again.
Hi.
Okay, so here's the 0 on our number line. Remember how to count by 2s?
Yeah.
Okay, let's count by 2s. You go.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
10. All right. So there's the 10, there's the 8. So this is going to be 8 1/3 over there by Xander, who's going to scoot into the camera a little better so we can see you helping out. So we have 8 1/3 down here. So this is going to be right here. Now, there's no line under here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means we're going to make an open circle at 8 1/3. And then which way is this pointing? It's going that way, right? Yep. So we're going to make the arrow going that way. And there is our so an open circle, because it's strictly less than, and it's pointing off to our left, because that's the direction that's pointing. All right? It's a lot of work to kind of get through, lots of algebra that we're used to. And make sure, as Andrew's pointing over here, you write down what you're doing as you go along. All right? Let's take a look at another one. Thank you. Now, this one uses fractions. This is our second example. And what makes this problem hard is that we have this 2/3 f, this 1/2, and this 1/3. Now, this year we haven't done a lot with getting rid of all of these fractions. But let's go ahead and do that now. what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides of the inequality by 6. So I make a note, I'm multiplying both sides by 6. That's what I'm choosing to do as my initial step. Why am I using 6? Well, when I distribute this 6 over both sides of those, I'm going to have here 6 times 2 over 3. 6 times 2 is 12, divided by 3 is 4. It's a whole number. 6 times 1/2 is going to give me 6 times 1 is 6, divided by 2 is 3. I'm multiplying through by the least common multiple of all my denominators. So across the board, all my denominators drop out. I could go through and multiply everybody by 3, and then go through and multiply everybody by 2. That would get rid of all my denominators as well. So when I distribute this, 6 times 2 is 12, divided by 3 takes me down to 4. So I have 4f. 6 times 1/2, 6 over 2 is 3, greater than 1 times 6 is 6, divided by 3 is 2. Now, I multiplied through by a positive value, so that means I don't need to flip my inequality around. Only flip your inequality when you multiply or divide by a negative. Now, subtract 3 from both sides, so I'm left with 4f is strictly greater than -1. I subtracted 3 from both sides. Now I'm going to divide by 4. Divide both sides by 4. So f is strictly greater than -1/4. That's my solved inequality. Now I have to draw a graph that goes with that. And so in this case there's 0, there's 1. So right there is the -1/4. It's strictly greater than, so I make an open circle at 1/4, and I shoot off that way. Again, the primary challenge here is going to be getting through all of the algebra necessary to get to that statement. It can be done, it's just there's a lot more algebra involved. It's many more steps than what we've been practicing. All right, let's look at another example after a short interlude. Let's take a look at another one of these examples that's going to be using all of our algebra skills to date. This one doesn't have any fractions or any other weirdness to it. It's a pretty straightforward problem in the sense that we just have to pound our way down to the end. Also, which is a bit of a benefit, all the variables are on one side of the equation. It makes life a little bit easier. So, first thing I want to do is to get rid of my parentheses. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute that 2 over what's shown here. So I end up with 3 plus 2 times x, and then plus 2 times 4 gives me 8, greater than or equal to 3. What I do, I distributed. Now, let's see, let's combine like terms. We're on one side of the inequality, so I'm just going to put those terms together to be 11. Combine like terms. Got nothing to. We're used to that. Now I have to get the x by itself. Subtract 11 from both sides. So 2x is greater than or equal to -8. So I subtracted 11 from both sides. Then divide by 2. -4. And I divided by 2. Oh, and again, you'll notice that was a positive 2 I divided by. So I'm not doing anything as far as flipping my inequality around. So this now gives me a graph to make. There's 0, there's 4. Now it's greater than or equal to, so I make a bullet point on the 4, and I go off in that direction. All right, there you have it. The whole goal with this section now is to just take the algebra skills we've been practicing so far and apply them to these more involved inequalities. Nothing's really changed from when we were doing equations, except I have to carry through my inequality. I have to make a graph when I'm finished, and I have to watch to see if I'm multiplying or dividing by a positive or a negative, because that would flip my inequality sign around. All right, when you guys come in here next time, we're going to dive right in on this, all right?